All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Heads Up Play. This is your man, John Rivers, aka Cowboy. We have Sam, the sweaty boy. We are having a special episode. We're on episode 30. We have made it to 30 episodes. How crazy is that, sweaty boy?
It is unbelievable sitting here. You can see that number right there. Episode 30. I mean, we started this thing in what was it? No, October
Mid, I think
2023.
we started on October 13th, Friday the 13th, I believe.
October 2023. And here we are 6 months later, a little bit over 6 months. We've been doing this six. Can you? I like that's hard to
I
believe we
know.
kept this up 6 months. Like that's crazy to me. And here we are, episode 30. I mean, we've gained 100. We're at 120 subscribers right now. Like, let's keep this thing growing. Like, I'm satisfied with our growth. I'm having so much fun doing this.
It's
But
fun,
look,
guys.
hey,
A
my
lot of
stupid
a
dog.
lot of
My dog's my biggest supporter.
a lot of work
Come
goes
here.
into these videos, guys. So before we get started today, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button right down there below. You make sure you hit that, get notified whenever we release new videos. Sports season's just around. Baseball starting up. You're in the final four, guys. That's what we're going to talk about today. We have a lot we got to discuss today with college basketball. As you can see on Swim, the
Cool it
Sam, the
down.
Sweaty Boys
Cool
hat.
it down.
We are both very pleased with our team right
I
now.
mean, let's hop straight into it. Look, we're gonna be recapping the Sweet Six, a little bit of the Sweet 16. We're not gonna go all into like each Sweet 16 games, but we'll kind of recap the Sweet 16 games for those that made it through. I mean, let's just start off. UConn. I mean, well, the UConn was the UConn game before or after ours on Thursday.
It was before. Remember, we played late.
That's right. That's
We
right. So
played
UConn plays San Diego State, and
It was a
look,
rematch.
UConn is
You rarely see that in the tournament. Is a rematch of the national championship the year
yeah.
before.
And look, UConn's a buzzsaw right now, man. I mean, that's why I'm kind of. I wish we were playing them, and we're gonna get into predictions and everything. I wish we were playing UConn earlier because we're hot, but at the same time, they are even more hot. I mean, we'll talk about their Elite Eight game and the run they went on. But 82-52 over San Diego State. I mean, what more can you say other than UConn's just doing the dang thing? I
They're,
mean, they're just killing it.
I mean, dude, they're just big. I'm gonna be honest. They're just a big, solid five. Their guards are 6'6", 6'7". Their center is 7'2". I mean, that power forward, what's his name? Alex Gabar. No, he's a small forward. No, he's their forward. He's 6'8". What's his name? I thought they had a It might be the last year I'm thinking of. But no, UConn's good, man. UConn's very scary. They don't really shoot. I mean, they went 10 for 26 against San Diego State, which is what most other teams do. I'm gonna tell you what I notice about this team. Rebounding, rebounding, rebounding. They can rebound the hell out of the ball. 50 to 29 against San Diego State. That's a my God. When you get that many rebounds, you're gonna blow them out just like they did.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much more you could say. I mean, UConn's really been dominating the whole tournament. I mean, they've dominated all season long. I mean, they're the top one seed for a reason. Only lost 3 games in the regular season, so I mean, there's really not much else. There were a couple other games on Thursday night. Illinois beat Iowa State. Clemson took down. That was an upset there. Clemson taking down Arizona. Alabama would have played Arizona, who was my national championship pick. Big upset there.
So it was
Um,
at that time, it was the biggest upset all day. At that time,
Absolutely. At
it
the
was
time, until Alabama plays North Carolina, and what is probably so far, in my opinion, the best game
in the
of the tournament. I mean, just overall,
I
not
agree.
because saying that because I'm an Alabama fan, but just
It
in
was
terms
just
of watching the game, it was just
my god.
incredible. I mean, 89-87, Alabama takes the win. And look, it was not because Alabama played perfect, but that was 100% the Grant Nelson game. He came through. He put the team on his back.
I
Put the team on his back.
I'm about to say, I mean, if you don't know who Grant Nelson is now, I mean, you do now. Like, these guys are so good. Grant Nelson went off. I love the game plan that Nate Oates, he ran circles, like, around Hubert Davis with the whole he, I don't know if you noticed, they had 2 players on their team that could not shoot for anything. So they just
RJ Davis, their best player, was off all game long.
8 for 18. No, that was a Baycott. He was 4 for
Mm,
20. He was 4 for 20. But the ones I am referring to is, Katie, Cadillo, you know who I'm talking about, that little guard? The little
I
guard,
know who you're talking about.
and then Ryan, Cormac Ryan was the only one that really kept him in the game, and then
He
Bay
was banking the threes.
really, I tell you what saved Alabama, when Baycott missed that dunk.
That was the pivotal point in the game. Baycott goes up easy. I don't want to say an easy dunk, but I mean it just kind of
Easy 2 point.
comes in and out,
Yeah.
and we take it. And from there, we're kind of able to protect the ball in the game, and UNC really didn't have much of a chance after that. Um, but yeah, Grant Nelson just went off on this game, mostly, especially in the second half. Um, I mean, but and you can't say much more for some of the guys that have really stepped up. I mean, Rylan Griffin's had a good tournament so far. Mark Sears has been incredible. We will continue to
Sears,
talk
in
about
my
Mark
opinion,
Sears
and I've talked about it, I think he's been the probably besides Zach Edey, the best player in the tournament.
100%. I mean, just I mean at the threes that he's been making has just been. I mean, he's just been draining them, especially in this past game, which we'll get into here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, Alabama takes down the uh, one seeded UNC and moved on to the Elite Eight. And then on Friday, we had some of the other region games.
I had to
Starting off, NC State. What is this NC State
say,
team?
I'm telling you. So I thought Marquette. I mean, I had Marquette in my Final Four. I mean, I thought that was a guarantee. Boy, was I wrong. North Carolina State is playing like I'm just telling you, DJ Burns is my favorite player in the nation right
I
now.
mean, he was such a big old dude. I said to you earlier, he reminds me of T Grizzly. I don't know why. Money longer 6 mile, brick mountain.
I just like DJ Burns. I don't, and the thing I like about him is he'll go down there, shoot the ball, and he just comes back smiling.
I know.
That's what I like about this North Carolina State team. They're just having a good time. They're just having a good time. That's what I really like about them. But Shaka Smart, he choked again in the March Madness. I mean, ever since he kind of did it back in 2011 with VCU as the 11 seed, he really hasn't done nothing else. But Marquette, it was sad because I really like that point guard. What's his name? Tyler Kaloki. He
Mhm.
had a pretty good tournament, but sorry,
Yeah, I mean,
you're
look,
out.
the difference in that game was just making points. I mean, 46.5% field goal percentage for North Carolina State compared to 33% for Marquette. Only 13% made threes for Marquette
So
compared
they
to
went
almost 40% for
went for
NC
4 for
State.
31, 4 for
I
31.
mean, you just can't do that. They won the turnover battle. It was just all around a better game for NC State. They take the game and moved on to the Elite Eight. Some of the other games, Purdue, they're kind of also a buzzsaw right now, kind of like UConn. I mean, just a team built to win right now, built huge with Zach Edey. They take down Gonzaga 80-68.
No, that it's I'm gonna tell you, Purdue is I didn't think they could do it, dude. They look scary. Zach Edey looks. I mean, with 27 and 14, we're not even. We haven't even got into today's game, but Zach
Y'all go lay
Edey
down.
looks good. I
Go lay
thought
down.
Gonzaga was going to beat him personally because after what they did to Kansas, I thought, oh well, man, they handled Hunter Dickerson. I mean, surely they can handle Zach Edey, but boy, was I wrong. I mean, my God, Purdue's for real. I mean, I own up to my mistakes in believing that they were posers. I own it up. They're good.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, Zach Edey is Zach Edey. 27 points on the game, like 57% field goal percentage over 50% for Gonzaga. 50% field goal percentage. I mean, that's great. But I mean, when you're beating that, like Purdue's just primed to win this thing, just like UConn. I mean, they're the UConn of the other side. And then
Let me
Duke.
ask you.
Let
Let
me
me. Oh, you're getting into the Duke Houston game. That
Yeah,
was the game.
Duke taking down Houston, number one seeded Houston, 54 to
That's what I
51.
was about to ask you. Is Kelvin Simpson a little bit overrated, or is Houston a little bit like who is more?
I don't know. I just feel like there's been a little bit of this underperformance in the tournament. And, I mean, this was a really close game, really close game. I mean, stat wise, they were pretty similar.
I definitely think if Jamal Sheed did not get hurt, I think they would have won that game. The little point guard.
Probably, probably. But and Duke, look, the Duke's a 4 seed. Um, I'm 2 days into college and I'm 3 lectures behind. You know that guy?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't.
Um, you gotta. I'm brain rotted on TikTok. Kyle Filipowski, 16 points on the game. They take down Houston. I don't know. What do you think? Is he a little overrated? Has he been underperforming? What do you think?
Think he's been underperforming at Houston. For them, I mean, I think they're becoming the modern day, what I'm gonna say Gonzaga in the sense of they
I was
always
about
make
to say the same thing.
but say they can make the Sweet 16 always, maybe go off to the Elite Eight. It wouldn't be shocked if they get in a Final Four once in a while, but they can't ever go further. They always, I mean, for instance, end of the season 32-5.
It's almost like Houston's setting up to be in that almost high second, or excuse me, low second, high third tier of college basketball programs overall. Obviously, top tier is going to be your Blue Bloods, Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, whatever. But then maybe Houston down kind of in that Michigan State territory, Gonzaga,
No, I
down there. But yeah, Duke takes care of business. They
yeah,
pull the upset.
I'll give them credit. They did well first season in the Big 12. I'll give it.
Yeah, oh, for 100%.
Yeah, they did.
And then Creighton, you and I both picked Creighton to beat Tennessee, but Tennessee, Dalton Connect, I mean, what more can you say? 82-75 for the Vols.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we're not going to touch too much on that because as we'll get into it, Tennessee didn't advance either. But Saturday, last night, there was some action.
yeah. Let's get into the boring
Let's
game.
get into the real stuff.
Let's get into the boring game first. UConn, Illinois. I'm shocked by this outcome. I thought Illinois was going to put up more of a fight after beating Iowa State. Like y'all know, I'm big on Iowa State this year. I've been the biggest Iowa State fan there is. Lost Illinois lost to UConn 52-77. Like I said, rebound, rebound, rebound. 45 to
Go lay
36.
down.
I mean, 37 defensive rebounds for UConn.
Yeah. Look, they went on a 30-0
So
run at one
it
point
was
in this
tied
game.
23-23
30-0,
and
dude.
then
I
jumped up
mean,
to 53 to 23.
like that just goes to show the dominance that this UConn team can indeed put on a team. Like it's just unbelievable. Donovan Clingan for UConn. I mean, 22 points on the game. Like he's incredible. The whole team is incredible.
UConn is
They
so back.
move.
I mean, they're
They,
gonna
they
win.
oh 100%. I mean, and Hurley. Look, Hurley's got a big personality. I know a lot of people don't like Dan Hurley, but you got to give that man credit. He
He's
has built
probably
a
the best.
powerhouse at UConn.
He's probably the best coach at you. If
Probably.
you remember, he had that Rhode Island team. I want to see how far they were like a Sweet 16 team. That Rhode Island team a couple years ago. Let me look. But he was a let me tell you a little bit of a stat. It's kind of crazy. When he was at Rhode Island, his first recruit came from Romulus High School. Who was Romulus High School's head coach at the time?
There is some history between Nate Oates and
The Hurley
Bobby
family.
and Dan Hurley.
Yeah.
100%. I've seen Bobby Hurley's been giving some phone calls to Nate Oates over the past couple days, giving congratulations and everything. They
So, Dan Hurley, he went to the round of 32 back-to-back years at Rhode Island, and then when they joined and then he went it's crazy. They went round of 64, championship, and then Final Four. Like, he's just built something. Dan Hurley, he's a pretty good coach. Rebound, rebound, rebound. If you can get 37 to 22 rebounds, you're gonna beat the hell out of the other team.
Yeah. Again, just dominance by UConn. Other game on the night. Let's talk about it. Our game, the biggest win. I mean, you have to agree with me here. The biggest win in Alabama school history in basketball was the one on Thursday night, beating North Carolina. Then you come back 2 days later and do it again against the 6 seed Clemson, who nobody. I mean, the way Alabama's playing right now, I think they would have beaten Arizona too if they were playing them. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But 89-82, that game,
I'm
Clemson
getting
had us. Clemson had
I'm
us in
getting
the
so
first
my
half.
heart can't take these close games either. We're blowing them out. I want to either blow them out or they blow us out. I'm getting tired of these close games.
I know, I know. This game, look, the Grant Nelson game for Alabama was in the Sweet 16 game against North Carolina. This was, I don't know, you could say it's a three-way tie, but the Nick Pringle game, it's
I
the
would
Mark Sears game, or maybe it's even the Jaron Stevenson game,
I would
hitting 5 or
almost
6
know it's
threes
the Jaron Stevenson game coming off the bench with 5 from 8 from 3 with 19 points.
when he was shooting
Massive,
25% from 3 all season
massive.
long.
I don't think people realize we wouldn't have won that game when Gerard goes down and shoots a 3, Stevenson shoots a 3. Gerard shoots a 3,
That
Stevenson shoots.
little
That's what
series of back
that's
and
what
forth
saved
threes
us.
was incredible just to
That
watch.
that's what saved us. But let's get into Clemson's a people say, "Well, y'all had to play a 6 seed Clemson." Clemson's good. That
Clemson is
defense
good. They've
was
got
good.
big old boys in PJ Hall and the other dude, Schwarzenegger, whatever his name is.
Scheffler.
Scheffler. Yeah, I don't know how I botched that. Um,
Scheffler, you have Scheffler, then you had the Hunter brothers. I mean, the guard was the best one, but Gerard, he could shoot lights out. Thank God he wasn't on at the beginning of the game.
yeah, yeah. And look, this Clemson team, which it lays their foundation on defense, they were hitting some threes now. I mean, they weren't afraid to
Went
throw
8
it up there.
8 for 26, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Bama was just on
I mean,
16 for 36.
well, and it was crazy because at the I don't know how it just got light right here. At the beginning of the game, the first 10 minutes or so,
It
we
wasn't
couldn't
hitting
hit nothing.
nothing.
Couldn't even hit a layup. I mean, easy stuff in the paint. We just weren't hitting.
Angle finished with 16 points, but he should have finished with at least 22.
Yes, and then here we come. Here we come. At about the 10-minute mark or somewhere around there in the first half, the run begins and it did not end. Now the defense let up a few times, but I mean with those big boys and PJ Hall and them, I mean they're gonna score.
I think PJ Hall has performed this. I would almost say he did better in the tournament than Kyle Flipkowski from Duke. I think he's the second best center in this tournament. I think he's an NBA ready. He's built for the NBA. That dude is he's just big. He can shoot. That's a good dude. Ugh.
So let's get into it a little bit. We got to talk. I mean, as Alabama fans, look, Alabama's now is unless you consider, I mean, North Carolina is a southern state. I'll give it that sort of, but I mean, in the deep South, Alabama now is the lone representative of the SEC and the South in the Final Four and in the tournament. This is, I mean, the first ever Final Four ever by Alabama. Only the second ever time we've made the Elite Eight, and here we are making history. We're going up against UConn. I do not like our chances, but we made the Final Four, baby. I
Let me
mean, look,
ask you, how fast did you buy the gear online? How like
um,
I was about like
it
30,
was right after you called me, which was probably
about
30 seconds after the game.
I want to say we definitely was one of the first.
Yeah, yeah, I think I put that order in real quick. But no, I mean, look, what do you think? I mean, I I got to think about it today. Um, with the success that Nate Oates has had over his tenure now of 4 years, he
I
has built Alabama up, and I know the tradition with Kentucky. I know the national championships that Florida has. I know all the Final Fours that Arkansas has made. Right now in 2024, the premier program, the premier basketball program in the SEC
is the
is
time.
the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I don't see if you're a boy and if you're a kid in high school, if you're a boy in high school and you can shoot the three, why would you not go to Alabama?
It makes no sense. I mean, Nate Oates' style of play of you ain't shooting any mid-range shot unless you're automatic like an Aaron Estrada. I mean, you're shooting a three or you're driving it in the paint.
Which I've always agreed with. I've always preached to former any coach, why would you shoot at 20 foot two when you can step a few steps back and shoot a three or go inside to get fouled? Like I think it's perfect. His style, in my opinion, is the most NBA style. You don't see the NBA players do the dribble, 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 and like try to go one on one,
Mhm.
shoot a two. No, it's all about threes, 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 go inside.
That
But
yeah, that we've talked about it before. That's what has that's the NBA these days is the 3 point,
So
right?
NBA's
And
they get in these moods, and right now we're in the Steph Curry kinda brought it, Klay Thompson and them is like you said, it's the 3 game.
100%. And I mean, look, I just been thinking about it. Like, I mean, we're in the Final Four. I mean, when NATO's, they came back today, landed at the airport, and seeing him walk out to all the fans holding the trophy, like that's just incredible to me. I mean, it's not a national championship, but I mean, it is harder to make a Final Four, in my opinion, in
It's almost as
basketball
good
than it
as
is
in my
to
opinion, it's almost as good as a national championship.
almost as good, just kind of right behind it. I mean, it's not a national championship, but I mean, it is so incredibly hard to make the Final Four, which is why now in the state of Alabama, let's talk about it. I'm sorry, Auburn fans, if you're listening, but the one thing you had on us is now gone.
It's gone. I have seen them say, "Well, you had an easy path." Well, I saw somebody say, "Well, Alabama had the easiest path," and somebody retweeted and said, "Well, just yell about it."
I mean, look, and Alabama. This is not only Alabama's not only the premier program in the SEC, but like, I mean, this is three 16s out of 4 times now. One of them making the Elite Eight and the Final Four. Auburn has made the Final Four that one time, but has been round
Has
of
been to the
32
Sweet
or round of
16
64 exits the past all other times.
since then,
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's been all Alabama in the SEC so far. But today, we had a couple other Elite Eight games.
Zach Edey is him. I'm gonna be honest. I think Zach Edey, my God, I think he was a little bit aggressive against Tennessee. Yes, I think definitely he should have had a little bit more foul.
Yeah, look, this was for a while. This game was a battle of the two best players in college basketball, and Zach Edey and Dalton
Sure.
Connect, and it was pretty even for a while there until the last few minutes, and Purdue kind of ran away with it. But you're right, Zach Edey is him. He of course needs a face transplant. Like just I just people like that. I'm just like just smile for once, just show some emotion.
His haircut's ugly.
Oh my gosh.
40 to 6 he had 40 points and 16 rebounds to Dalton Connect's 37 points. Um, I will say Connect did shoot the ball 31 times. I mean, let me shoot it
Yeah.
31 times. I mean, my God, but, Tennessee is just, they it kinda fell back to what we said all year. If Connect
Stop.
if you they've had no help with Connect. You know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
it's the second highest points
Y'all go lay
besides
down.
Connect was 9. That was Ziegler. You gotta have other teammates. That was, to my opinion, the biggest problem with Tennessee. Purdue, of course, had 40, and then, their second highest was 14. Purdue, I'm gonna be honest, man, they're scary good. Like I said, though, rebounding is what's gonna win you games. The rebound count was 47 to 26.
And that's Zach Edey. I mean, when you've
That's
got a guy that big and tall, I mean,
he
at a certain
literally
point, it's gonna be hard to rebound against him.
Tennessee only had 10 more rebounds than Zach Edey did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
I mean,
He's just so massive.
7'4" and 300 pounds. I mean, that's
And Dalton Connect is a big dude, and he
Tennessee's
was
a
making
big
him
team.
look
They're a big team,
tiny.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, it is wild watching a Purdue game and just seeing the height discrepancy between. I mean, it's Zach Edey and everybody else. It's like if you and I went and played against fourth graders in an upward bound game, you know?
Boy, if you remember at the beginning of the season, they played Samford and Bucky Ball. He put their point guard that's like 5'10" against Zach Edey and all that. But,
So, yeah, Purdue takes care of business. They move on to the Final Four. Their first Final Four appearance, I believe, since 1980.
I
A
believe
while
so,
back for
yeah.
them, which you would think Purdue, with the success that they've had recently, that they would have been in one earlier. But then recently, I did not watch much of this game. I was having a nice Easter meal at Texas Roadhouse. NC State, the Cinderella run
My god.
continues for DJ Burns and the North Carolina State Wolfpack, the 11 seed. Only the sixth time I want to say that an 11 seed's made the Final Four. They beat that not only beat Duke, they beat them pretty handily.
Just to think. if that shot didn't go in against Virginia, North Carolina State to send it to overtime,
Where would we be right now?
where would we be right now? My God, this team is on fire. They have won they've won 9 straight. This team is literally the definition of hot right now. DJ Burns, like I said, he has America by the heart right now. Like, he is killing it right now. DJ Burns, and the thing is, at 29 tonight, he's good. He's just
Yeah.
good. He's good. He battles with him. I'm so interested to see that Zach Edey, DJ Burns matchup.
That's gonna be it's so fun to watch. I mean, it was great just watching Dalton Connect and Edie play today earlier. I mean, watching those two, I mean, the two best players of the season go at it together. Of course, Edie was always on top. I mean, just of course, look, that's due to his size, but
Yeah.
I mean, oh, DJ Burns ain't lacking in that department. I will give you that.
No. Well, Duke, I
Um,
mean, Jared McCain, he had a really good game. He's been pretty good this tournament with 32 points tonight. But and the thing is, they out rebounded North Carolina State. The problem, North Carolina State, they don't shoot threes. They went 3 for 13, only shot 13 threes. If that happened to Alabama, Nate Oates would have a heart attack. Oh my
well, hey, that was basically the first 10 minutes of our game.
God. My God. But what hurt Duke was 23 fouls to 17 fouls. You had Kyle Filipowski foul out. You had Matt Mitchell foul out. It just Mark Mitchell, my bad. But I'm liking this North Carolina State. That's the Cinderella run right there
I mean, look, the lowest seed to win a national championship ever was an 8 seed in Villanova
in
uh,
1980. Yeah.
in 1980, and here they are as an 11 seed, lowest seed last year.
Shouldn't even be. They're a bit. They're what they call a bid stealer. They should not even
Yeah,
be in the tournament, but they just won the tournament to get the
yeah.
bid.
Look, and that's what you got to do in the NCAA tournament. I mean, I predicted Alabama to be around a 32 exit
I
just because they weren't playing defense,
admit,
but they've gotten hot at the right time, and they've
that's all college basketball is when you get hot at the right time.
yeah, and I mean, you look at a team like NC State, but not even. I mean, you look at some of the Elite Eight teams. Look at what Clemson did. I mean, look at I mean, look at let's see. I mean, some of these other lower Gonzaga. I mean, like all you got to do in San Diego State, like it's about getting hot at the right time. And I mean, if you can just stay hot, eventually you might run into a buzzsaw, which just takes you out just a totally flat out better team, and which is what I'm scared of going forward.
Well, I'm gonna
But I
tell you,
mean, that's what you got to do.
I was pretty proud of myself for having Bama in the Elite Eight. I was pretty proud. That was pretty good. I will give myself. I don't want to pat myself on the back. I was shocked by that. I was shocked by that. But let's get into
Well,
the Final Four matchups.
the Final Four is set. Okay, so Alabama will be take the 4 seed Alabama will be taking on
One seed
the
you
1 seed UConn. 11 seed NC State will be taking on 1 seed Purdue. The winner of those two games, obviously, of course, play for the national
beat.
championship. It will be in Phoenix, Arizona. I want to say, is this in the Sun Stadium or are they playing this in like the State Farm?
They're playing this in the State Farm.
Good Lord.
They play these in the football arenas just to where they could have more seats. Of course,
Yeah.
tickets are cheap. They're like
Yeah.
like
Well,
two.
it's the airfare. I
What is
looked at airline tickets and it was like $700 from
it?
Orlando.
They're 250 right now for a ticket, but the thing is, you are sitting in nosebleed at a football stadium. You
You
think
won't be
it's
able to
tough
see any
you
seats.
think it's tough to see a football at a football game. Imagine a basketball at a basketball game.
I mean, yeah, imagine like way up there. You remember, I want to say it's probably 6, 7 years ago. Tennessee and Virginia Tech played a football game at Bristol Motor Speedway, or the racetrack, which
Yes.
holds like 400,000 people. And they were like, I mean, I can't imagine how little that looked. But I mean, that's got to be what this is like.
It's one of those, like, you're just wasting money, in my opinion. You're paying for the experience just to say you've been there, and, like, it's well, let me tell you, I was in a dilemma. I had to sell my tickets. I had tickets to go next weekend to the Atlanta Braves, everybody, to watch the Braves and the Arizona Diamondbacks with my brother, and then never would have thought Bama would be in the Final Four, but I'm glad they are, so I sold my tickets so I can stay home and watch them because I've already sat through at the Braves game. We both have. We was there together watching Bama play Texas in football. Like, I couldn't do that again after what happened. I definitely could not go through that pain.
I was look, I love you. That was your bachelor trip, and I, I was going for sure. I was not paying attention a lick of attention to that baseball game.
I wasn't either. I wasn't me, you, and shout out to Dakota, if you're listening. We were the only 3 really actually watching the Bama game, and Cade was too. Cade, my buddy Cade, shout out Cade, and, Taryn wasn't there that night, but I remember he met up with us the day after and was just we were all talking about it, but that was tough. That was a rough night.
That was a rough night, but it was fun nonetheless. But yeah, that's the Final Four. So let's start with Purdue and NC State. I don't know which game will be first on the weekend. Let me look here.
Let me see if they're released
April 1st, they have us playing second. So 6:09
another late.
Eastern, 5:09 Central, Purdue and NC State. We will play at 8:49 Eastern, 7:49
I'm not gonna
Central.
glad. I'm kinda glad that game is later. I know it's gonna sound crazy when I say this. I would have been upset if it was first game, and I'd be like, "Well, I coulda definitely went to the Braves game and watched that." Now I'm kinda
Mhm.
glad that they made the decision for me, like,
Yeah.
but,
Well, and look, let me go ahead and lay it out there. Purdue is a 9.5 point favorite over NC
oh
State.
god,
That's
we're
my
11
shot.
and a half point.
11.5.
Oh god.
Oh, man.
Good. Keep doubting us. Keep doubting us.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
how we strive. We strive and survive, baby. Strive and survive. Let's get into Purdue, North Carolina State. I'm gonna be honest. I think Purdue's gonna mop the floor with them. I mean, do I like the matchup with Edie and Burns? Yes, Edie has him on the height and 300 pounds, but I think Burns is gonna be able to push. It ain't gonna be no pushover for Edie, and the same with Burns. I think it's gonna be very interesting. Do I think Edie's still gonna dominate? Yes, because Edie's he's the back-to-back National Player of the Year. Give me Purdue. I think they cover. Give me the over.
So you don't think that you think it'll be less than a 9.5 point game?
I think it's gonna be a plus. Yeah, give me a plus 9.5. I think.
So go NC State plus 9.5.
Yeah, I
All
think
right,
I think it's gonna be a bigger. I think they're gonna lose by more than that.
I think. So you're take so then Purdue minus 9.
Yeah,
So I will say I'm with you on that one. I think that NC State it's a great run they're on. It's a magical Cinderella run, no doubt about it. But I mean, this Purdue team, it's just too good. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of more. Let me look at Purdue because I forgot what the score was when we played them. Um,
we played with them. Now I will say
yeah.
we played with them.
So
It was where's it at? I just
it
saw it.
was 92-86.
We played with them. Now I will say
Yeah.
we played with them.
Now, give me Purdue and give me over 9.5. I'm sorry, NC State. At some point, though, the Cinderella story has to come to an end. I don't think any NC State fan is expecting to win that game whatsoever. I mean, they're probably right there with us as Alabama fans. I just can't. I can't pick against Zach Edey and this Purdue team. They will be in the national championship.
No, I agree. I think it's gonna be Purdue. The media wants it to be UConn versus Purdue. But let's get into the next game then, that late Saturday night game. Where are you gonna be at? Well, are you gonna be at your house? Are you gonna I'm
I will likely be here. I
I
will
am
be here.
treating this like the national championship in
Yeah,
football.
I this will need to be look, you and I both are like this. We can't go and watch sporting events like we can watch an unimportant game like at a Buffalo Wild Wings or sports bar or something. If it's something serious, I gotta be in my zone. I gotta be on the couch, in the TV, really by myself. I can watch it with some friends, like I could watch a Braves playoff game with some friends and everything, but like a national championship caliber, a playoff game, I
When
got
it's
to be
one
able to.
when there's multiple games, that's different because 'cause you're
Yeah,
not gonna be with
yes.
them every time. But when it's one game, yeah, I'm the same way. That's why I had a tough time when Bama played Michigan. I had to go to a bar on my honeymoon on the cruise.
Hmm.
That was tough. That was
I
tough.
tell me if you do this. So I'm a very I don't want to say I'm a superstitious person, but if I'm sitting, I do this with football. I do this with the Braves, with
Oh, I'm very
Alabama.
superstitious. I have worn the same T-shirt, shorts. When I chew 2 pieces of bubble gum in the first half, I get a brand new piece, 2 new pieces in the second half, and I sit
I
in the same
I I have to be sitting in a certain way. It's usually just kind of like sitting like this. Usually got my hand kind of right here. It's like, and if I move from this position, I got to go back at some point because like unless they start doing bad, then I'm like, all right, I got to change my position.
and then,
I,
I stand up until they score the first basket, and then no matter what the score is, with less than 4 minutes to go, I'm just standing up the whole time.
okay, I'm not much of a stander. I can't stand and I can't
I
do it.
have a lot of because I know it's gonna say I get down, I'm like, "Come on, let's go. Yeah, come on. Ball, 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 ball." Like, I get into it. I get into it.
I'm into it, but I'm like locked in. I'm like
I come on.
can't say a word. I'm just
I just keep going like, "Come on, kick, swing it,
but with
swing it."
with this game, look, I'm gonna pick UConn. I got to do it. I would love to pick Alabama, but if I'm being 100% realistic with me, we're running into a buzzsaw here. UConn is just that team. I think they win the national championship if they beat us. I do think that they beat Purdue. Um, and I would hope that they would beat Purdue if they beat us. I would hope that we lose to the eventual national champion. Um, I just can't pick against them. As much as I love this team, I do think that, you know, and I'm partly doing this because I've continued to pick against this team and they've proven me wrong, so I want them to continue to do so. I'm not doing this just because I feel like UConn,
No,
I want
I see
UConn
what
to
you're
win.
saying. I see what you're saying. I'm gonna go against you. Give me the Tide.
Look, you've been doing it. You've been doing it, and it's
I'm
been
just
paying
telling
off.
you,
So
it's one of
you got
these
to keep it up.
things. Why not us? Why the hell not us? That's what I like about this mantra of this team. Why can't we do it? Okay. If it was easy, everybody else would do it. My God, they thought we wasn't going to beat North Carolina, much less nobody thought we was going to beat Clemson. They have not once picked us to win. Our own Reese Davis had us even losing to Charlotte. I mean, Charleston. Where even is Charleston? Um, I'm just telling you, give me the Tide over UConn. They have not faced a team that can shoot like us. Sears is going to be rail rested. We haven't even had our best shooter for the last 2 games. Give me
You
Alabama.
have the tie. I want you to think
I
about this
don't
for a
give
second.
I
I want
don't
you to
give
think.
a piss about nothing but the Tide.
I want you to think about this. You're predicting the Alabama Crimson Tide basketball team who make the national championship.
I I um,
You're predicting the national championship for this team. Not a
ugh,
national championship. But here's the thing. We did not we did not have any time really. We did, but because the games are so back to back in the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, we didn't really have time to cover the Sweet 16 right after it happened. So we didn't cover Alabama beating North Carolina. It's going to be the same thing with this one. Does Alabama versus Purdue then? Do you have Alabama winning the national championship?
well, we've already played somebody in the tournament earlier in the season,
We
and
played a number of these tournament teams.
we've lost. We lost to Clemson, but you know what? We bounced back. And, what was that score you said
It
when we
was 92 to 86 or something like that.
pull it up? Let me pull it up. Yeah, we went, give me Alabama! We shot 19 for 46 from 3. It's not the greatest, but it's pretty good shooting, but we had 24 fouls. We're gonna execute, execute, execute. Give me Alabama. Sears went for 35 points against Purdue. He is gonna do it again. Give me Alabama over.
If Alabama does indeed somehow pull off a national championship with this team right here, how will you, as one of the biggest Alabama basketball fans I know, celebrate?
Oh god. I'm probably gonna run around my apartment complex. You can You know, if you remember, I told you about 3 years ago. I don't care if Alabama football never wins another national championship if only 2 things happen. You remember when I told you this, right?
I do. I
I
do.
said if the Atlanta Braves win a World Series, happen, and if Alabama basketball wins a national championship.
So you obviously you're not going to be able to go to the Final Four or the national championship game. If Alabama does indeed somehow win a national championship here, there will be a parade.
I'm I
You of all people will need to be there.
I will try to be there. I will try to be there. This game is for Levi Randolph, Ratan
Retno
Ababa.
Basahan.
This is for Trevor Lacey. This is for Braxton Keys, Tony Mitchell, Jamichael Green, Trevor Relaford. This is for what's his name? Kyra Lewis, Herb, John Petty, Alex Reese. This is for I'm just thinking some other ones. Joshua
Colin
Primo,
Sexton.
Colin
Give me
Sexton,
not Javon Quinterly. He's a traitor.
Keon Ellis. This is for Dante Hall. This is for Big Shot Robert Ory, Gerald Wallace, Mo Williams. Give me Alabama. I'm just telling you the magic number. If we can hit 15 threes, we're going to win. That's my
Over
magic number.
UConn? Over
Over
UConn?
UConn, 15
Now, you
threes.
said it earlier over the phone. This UConn team ain't played a team that can hit the three like we can.
No, they have not. They have teams that really haven't even attempted to shoot a three like we have. Let me pull up how many shots. Of course, they played Stetson. I mean, Stetson shot 23s, and that's nothing. That's what we make almost every. They play Northwestern second round. They shot 15 threes. San Diego State shot 22 threes. Illinois shot 23 threes. Alabama has shot against Charleston. We have shot 33 threes. Grand Canyon, we shot 20, 31 threes. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. North Carolina. I'm gonna compare North Carolina to UConn. We shot 26 threes. We have not shot anywhere close to these other teams because we shoot more. I'm telling you, 15 threes is my key. I need a big game out of Pringle, Stevenson off the bench, and I need a big game. I ain't gonna talk about Mark Sears because he's gonna give me a big game anyway.
Give
He's
me LW.
Latrell Wrightsell. Trail.
Big comeback off two games not playing.
And I'm gonna tell you who
Would
else
be
needs to give us
huge.
another good game because he's been on point the last 2 games. Give me Rylan Griffin.
Look, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one. We've had a Grant Nelson game. We've had a Nick Pringle, Mark Sears, Jaron Stevenson game. Aaron Estrada's been consistent. We need us a Ryland Griffin legacy game, man.
Griffin's been good. He's been contributing. I'm not gonna say he's not.
Yes, yes. We need his moment.
This is I mean, this whole season, his name's not Mark Sears, it's March Sears. March Sears has been unstoppable. I'm gonna
Mark
trade
Madness.
March Madness. I'm just telling you, Mark Madness, like you said, give me Alabama. I might be a homer. You know what? We're in the Final Four. Hell, I don't care. Give me Alabama on the whole way up. I will get a face tattoo. I'm not gonna do that actually, but give me Alabama. I'm just saying, since we've had a football coach that started tweeting, we're undefeated in the tournament. Just putting that out.
So let me ask you. I know this has got to be top five somewhere. Obviously a national championship would be up there, but making the Final Four at Alabama's got to be somewhere in your top five greatest Alabama sporting moments. Where would you rank it? Like you don't have to tell me everything, but if whatever is ahead of it,
Yeah,
you got to
a
tell me.
couple of national championships are gonna be out just because I'd probably put this number 2.
What would be what's your number one then?
I'd probably go the Georgia, Alabama, the second and 26.
I would have to put that at one, and then
I would go second 26, that. Third, I'd probably put, when we shut out LSU in the championship game. That game kinda gets forgot
okay,
about. Fourth, I'd probably go it's gonna sound crazy, controversial. Jalen Hurts winning against Georgia in the SEC
I
championship.
like that. I like
In
that.
5, I would go the 4th and 31 Gravedigger.
I like that list. I like that list. I might agree with you on that one. I might fully agree with you on that list.
I think the
But
Jalen Hurts Georgia kinda gets slept on a little bit. That was wild.
so I mean that guys, that's it. That is our we're 45 minutes into this. That is our look, March Madness. This has been such a fun March Madness to watch. I mean, obviously, a big part of it is because Alabama has been in it so long, and maintained their run here.
See,
But
this is perfect for me and you. We have the Braves kicking off. We have Alabama in the middle of March. Like, this is, like, perfect in my opinion, Been watching I literally yesterday watched the Braves in the daytime, got done with that, and then literally immediately turned on the Alabama game. It was I mean, that's a good feeling.
yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Braves did lose today, unfortunately, but it is what it is.
We got 100 what is it now? 160
160, no, 159 more games, or 158.
Have you saw
I
have you
think
saw
we'll be
what
okay.
you saw with the Frank the Tank? He is officially out on the Mets already.
I did not watch. I saw they made a video. What
He's
didn't watch it.
laughing. He's more worried about going to the Zach Bryan concert. Motherfucker. I'm just telling you, Frank
You
the
know
Tank,
baseball's back when Frank the Tank is making videos.
he is did you see the video yesterday? He was at the Mets game. You saw what the Mets have dancers, correct?
No, I didn't see this one.
They have Mets dancers, and he is, like, just screaming, "What the hell is this bullshit? We don't We're more worried about dancing than losing. What the hell?" As he's chewing on that little necklace he has. This is bullshit. As he's like breaking his glasses. I'm worried about losing.
My favorite thing about Frank is the minute the Mets lose, he will go on TikTok and make a video. Jeff McNeil, I can't win. And then as soon as the Mets win, he'll go, "Oh, good win by the Mets today." I thought totally,
And I
totally
love it
different.
because all of his shirts have been chewed like through the hole. Like he has no good shirts. There's no
He's got to have something, I mean, like
I
that's
don't know,
a
yeah.
tick. I don't know, but he carries those like necklaces with like chewing, like he just chews
I
on a
think he
necklace. I
just
don't
gets
know.
that angry.
Maybe
I
that's
think
how he
he
takes
just
his anger out.
He's just I mean, he's you know, I don't wanna say I'm as gloom and doom as him, but I can
You're
be.
kind of a downer. You're
I
a downer. You're a
I
doomer.
can be a downer, like, I don't know, but I'm not a downer right now, give me
You're not Frank the Tank level. You're right, but you are very much. We're gonna lose. And it's rubbed off on me now. It's rubbed off.
I really did think we was gonna lose against Clemson the other day. Whenever it got to 26-13, I was like, "Oh god, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose to Clemson. We're never gonna hear it."
2018 national championship all over.
I was
Trevor
like,
Lawrence
"My god,
green.
the barn college is about to own us on Twitter right now."
They are in shambles. Oh, they're in shambles. It's sad to watch. It's sad. It's so funny. As an Alabama fan, like seeing some of those tweets from Auburn fans. Oh my gosh, they don't know what to do with
I
themselves.
just like, wow,
Reminder, yeah, easiest path to the Final Four ever.
I just like while Alabama's playing, they like post like, "Yeah, guys, we won the SEC championship." And what how do you say it? The equestrian or something like that.
The equestrian
Yeah,
the equestrian
horse,
SEC
the
championship.
horseback riding. I'm just telling you, Auburn fans are gonna be mad at me when I say that. It's just funny. It was just funny timing. I thought, I was like, come on.
All right. Do we have a question of the day? I can maybe come up with one on the spot.
Let me ask you question of the day for all Alabama fans out there. Does this make Alabama a basketball school? I mean, of course, we're still a football school, but does this make us more kind of like 70? You see what I'm saying? Like 70-30,
So, okay, all right.
60-40.
I was listening to Nate Oates' post game press conference yesterday, and he kind of some a reporter asked him about like, hey, what does this mean to you? Being at Alabama, you know, obviously the football program, kind of overshadows everything. And he said, You know what? I knew that coming into it. I knew Alabama was a football school. I don't mind it. I love football." And he said, "But this is a championship school." He said, You look at, not just with football, but I mean, gymnastics has won a ton of national championships. Softball's won some championships. I mean, golf. Obviously, those are sports that are not nearly as popular. But you know, I live here in Gainesville, Florida, and something that I've always envied about Florida is they may not be the best historically at any one sport, right? Like obviously Alabama's got football, Kentucky's got basketball, LSU's got baseball. Florida's still got national championships in just about everything,
Yeah.
right? That's something they're they're always going to compete for something, and that's what I would love for Alabama to get to, um, not just with basketball, but to compete for a national championship in something. So, and I think they're getting there, and I would love for basketball to kind of, if especially if football does not rebound after Saban, like let's say Kalen DeBoer just doesn't work out, but basketball continues to do well. I'm fine by that.
No, I agree, I agree. Before we go, I do wanna I got a dog another tiger. Clemson's head coach goes, "Yeah, me and Nate Oates, we're in the same boat, both of us being at football schools." And I think to myself, I was like, "Well, that was pre-COVID, Clemson ain't done much." I was like, "I don't know if y'all can say that still, like, football."
I don't know what Clemson. Clemson, look, I gotta give them credit a little bit. They made the Elite Eight in basketball. They're number 3, I think, in baseball. I want to say their softball team is like up there. Obviously football has been down, but don't rag on Clemson too much. Now they ain't winning no championship in football, that's for sure. To
Yeah.
your point, but give credit a little bit to Clemson, I will say. But I think that does it, everybody.
Yeah,
Let me give you a non-sports question of the day.
what you got?
What is your go-to choice of water? If you go to a gas station, you get a bottle of water. What are you getting?
Whatever's cheapest.
Whatever you don't have like a. I'm a little bit of a stickler for some water. I like me. I'm not much of a like. Let me go get that Circle K
I
water.
don't like Dasani that much. I mean, if it's not I mean, to me, Dasani makes me feel I guess the salt in it makes me more thirsty after it, but,
Okay.
give
Have you
me
tried this right here?
I've
Gotta put
yet
everybody on. You gotta try the Liquid Death, man.
I am on right now a Members Mark.
Yes, I mean, hey,
I mean, come on, man.
all right, guys. I think that does it. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow us on all our social media platforms right there: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We post on some TikToks now. Hope you liked the last one. I don't know what this meme is with LeBron James, but I had to hop
You
on.
are my sunshine,
My only
only
sunshine.
sunshine.
Everybody, heads up play out. I
Good
don't
job.
give a piss about none but the tide.